from start?
I guess I can just kind of recount the week, because I feel like the week gives a lot of context to the day and why I was out there. We got back from Death Valley on Sunday. On Monday morning I was out to do my first jump of 2020 after learning how to pack my own parachute, because I was actually training for a dream stunt. I started driving there around 11 a.m. This is the fourth day in a row of me going out to skydive. It's been very intense to just be reflecting on life that much and be reflecting on death. And I feel very grateful to be able to do this, to be able to fulfill a childhood dream. And
It sounds like there was a number of layers of friction that morning from you even getting from LA to Elsinore.
yeah,
And then you get to Elsinore and you happen on the scene of an accident?
yeah. I literally I walk onto the drop zone, and after having put my parachute on and ready to get on the plane, and everybody gasps. I just arrived to the drop zone, just got my parachute on, and someone just crashed at landing. I saw it like straight ahead. Oh, the ambulance just got here. Within 5 minutes, there's an ambulance, there's a cop car, there's firemen just out there. And it's pretty scary, and I've seen that happen before, and I've seen it happen before and got on planes and just continued jumping, because you are in a sport where this is a possibility, and I pay a lot of attention to the instructions that I get, which is very not like me. But when you're receiving instructions that will save your life, kind of, I take that in a different way, and I like the feeling of trusting myself and trusting my body and just being in that state where I'm like, I know that if I have to deal with a stressful situation, I'll be able to keep my calm. Which came into play the actual moments of the accident.
You make a decision that day based on a couple different factors not to jump.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? What is the feeling that makes you decide no?
I was on the plane, and one of the instructors kept asking me, like, are you in or out? He asked me that twice, and I told him, just give me 1 sec. And I just reviewed my day, and I was like, there was just too much friction for me to be here today, and I should just listen, I should take the sign and get off the plane. Because like the morning, like I wasn't gonna come because my shoulder was hurting a little bit, and I ended up really scrambling to try and find a car, and I almost borrowed my friend Gwen's, and then Matt ended up coming through last second when she was literally outside. It was a hectic day, and in that moment I just decided to like look up and pay attention to the signs that I was given. Like I was being extra safe that day. Just got in my car and headed back to LA. So the first thing I experienced is the sound of like, basically getting hit on my back tire. My car spun. My car is drifting towards one of the light poles. And in that moment I'm like, this is too much force, and I'm about to go into that pole. It hit the front of the car. And then from there, that just ended up rolling me, and I went into aggressive rolls maybe 6, 7, 8 times. That's when everything slowed down. Just started seeing everything just get up in the air, and like my eyes were open the whole time. I didn't blink a single time. I saw every single roll because my airbag on the steering wheel never went off, so I just could see everything, like me turning with everything, and it was like so loud, but it was only parts, there was only certain sounds that I was picking up. But I just remember how calm it all was. Like in the middle of all this chaos and literally glass from all directions just flying at me, it was just such a calm state of being. There was so much happening, and in my mind I was like, okay, I guess this is it. And I said it, and I end up just saying a shahada, which is Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa Muhammadur Rasulullah, and I thought of my mom. And basically a shahada is, in the Muslim faith, if these are your last words, it helps you transition to death in a peaceful way. And it was the last 3 rolls or something when I said Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa Muhammadur Rasulullah, thought of my mom, and the car stopped. I was confused because I was like, there was too much force for it to stop, to settle the way it did. And then I looked everywhere. I looked in front of me, all the glass is off. Like I looked down, my phone was exactly where it was when everything in the car is complete, like the exhaust was completely out of the body of the car and like on the hill somewhere. I like made sure that there's no bones sticking out of anywhere. I could not believe that the car settled, and I'm like, there's nothing sticking out of my body or I'm not dead. There was moments where I'm like, I'm just so confused in what's happening right now. I grabbed my phone, I opened the door, and I just FaceTimed Thomas, and I just told him, T-Boogie, I'm okay, but I got into a really, really bad car accident.
Amar just got into a car accident.
Is he calling you or is somebody else
No,
calling?
he's FaceTiming. Are you okay, Amar?
You alright?
I'm all good. I'm like no scratch, but the car is. I literally can't believe it.
Holy shit, dude.
Where are you? Can you send us the address?
I will drive to again.
What happened?
Sorry.
Amar just got into a car accident.
Oh shit. Oh my god. Got hit from behind, literally after calling off skydiving because it was too dangerous. Just completely rolled off the highway. Thankfully I'm all good. Just a couple of scratches on my hand, that's it. I literally can't believe I'm alive. The reality of how extreme of an accident I was in and the fact that I'm walking around the car in one piece, that was starting to like settle more in and then I started thinking about, oh, what happened up there? What is the scale of the accident? Like how many cars? And that started really scaring me. That was the scary part. Just like not knowing if anyone was hurt, or within 20 minutes a fireman came and he was like, is that your car? I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, did you just walk out of there? It's like, yeah. He's like, you're one lucky son of a bitch. Like, I know. So the other driver was okay. It was just one guy in a car, and he was perfectly fine. He was very chill. No other cars were in the accident. I think when you come that close to death, things reveal themselves in a very different way, in a way that you've never experienced. And for me, I just can't imagine the terror that I would experience if I wasn't living a life where I felt aligned, where I felt like I could just leave in that moment peacefully and happily, because I have truly been chasing the things that matter to me, and I was doing it with the people that I love the most. Yeah, just hold on to your reason of why you want to be here. And know that actually everything matters. And in your construction and architecture of your own life, make sure that you're putting the right pieces so that if/when it all comes crashing down, you can just take that moment with all the grace and all the peace. My realization is that there is nothing to be afraid of.
Not even death itself.
Not even death itself. As long as you're just living right now, accepting that as long as you're living, not taking it as a given. Because this is when you remember in a moment like this that you had a life, that you needed to live that life. Remember that you have your own life. You're blessed with this most amazing gift to be a human being, to be living at the time that we live in, and to be able to create with the different tools that we have. And to have unparalleled access to knowledge that can allow you to be whoever you want to be. Don't wait until you're confronted with death for you to remember that you have this life. Well, obviously this is not how we expected to launch the podcast that we've worked for the whole of 2020 on. Strangely, the first episode is actually about uncertainty. And the stunt that I was training for was actually going to be the story that was supposedly launching the podcast today.
And we're grateful that the podcast is finally giving us an opportunity to be able to dive deeper into some of the topics within discomfort that we rarely get to talk about in the videos. We hope that you're as excited as us about the launch of our podcast after having talked about it for a very long time. So obviously everything is available in the description below, and we'll highly appreciate that you go listen to it and let us know what you think.